Today is 17th of November 2024. We will discuss about the Markowiz portfolio. I will share the screen very quick. Markowiz portfolio, we can go very deep dive to portfolio setting, but if we go very simplified, then there will be what we are going to do is quantify the risk, and risk can be, we can write risk as systemic risk and non-systemic risk. I wonder why beta comes like this, because then it will go high and it will go low both. Beta is also constituted of covariance, and there will be systemic risk, and total portfolio variance will be sigma squared P equal to sigma 1 to n sigma say is 1 to n wi sigma I j sigma. And you can calculate systemic risk and non-systemic risk if there's value. And in some Markowiz portfolio lecture note, it define return and variance as random variable. And in other, it sometimes represent return as historic value. There is some difference if you define it as random variable or if you define it as percentage change. So we can consider both by how many stocks we buy and plus W. And if we do each of the costs, then we can consider both amount and portion. We can consider both, and when setting weight, we should think about sharp portfolio and other things. This is how we can consider both amount and rate. And we should be one. We can calculate portfolio return with two assets, which will be consistent of W and R. Each portfolio return risk will also, in this case, we will also calculate about the covariance, square root of covariance, which will be also related with correlation coefficient, how they are related. We can also solve this as P inverse matrix vectors, and there will be eigenvalues. Its eigenvalue will be its standard deviation, and eigenvector will be kind of R, which is correlation coefficient. And we usually do single period analysis, and there will be a lot of A1 and AM. What we should do is W prime, which is the optimal rate that can maximize return. And when we formalize everything, we can then define it by Lagrange. There is constraints, which is every W prime of each asset should be 1, and double prime multiple alpha should be also maximized alpha 0. Then we can solve it. There's also Kelly portfolio optimization problem. Let's say there is 2 outcome when you do single bet, then the W will be W0 plus F plus W0, which if you win, and it will be which if you lose, then you can write down the 2 outcome for utility function. Just put the log in it, and then you can calculate about expected log. Then you can also take a derivative. Then you can find the maximum point. And then F star come out, which is alpha 1 minus t over alpha. It will be optimal bet, that how you should bet for the long term. Thank you very much. Pina or Elfu, do you have any question?
No, we don't have.
Really?
Yeah, to be honest, we didn't even understand the topic, so we don't have a question because we don't know the topic.
Which part is not understandable?
All of it. Like, I do know what you're talking about, but at the same time, it's not something that I do, so know nothing about it.
Yeah, please ask me any academic question, please.
Okay, well, can you explain what you just explained it for a 5 year? Like, as would you be explaining it to just someone that is just 5?
What do you mean?
Explain it. They like try to explain it to a kid, like just 5-year-old kid. That try to explain it that how.
This formula is measuring how it is dangerous when you buy stocks. But we can reduce it. We can reduce it by buying different stocks. Maybe you can buy Apple's stock and maybe you can buy Nvidia's stock. Then the probability of losing money will goes down if you buy a lot of stocks from various stocks, not buying 10 numbers of Apple stocks, but if you buy 1 numbers of Apple stock and 1 numbers of Nvidia and 1 numbers of Tesla and 1 number of other stock, the risk will goes down. But when you buy this, the important thing is their price should move differently. If when Apple's stock goes down, but also Nvidia's and every stock goes down together, then it is not meaningful. You will lose money samely. But when Nvidia's stock goes down, but Apple's stock goes up, then you don't need to worry about losing money. Am I correct?
So basically, if you use the formula to count what?
Hey, bring Elso. Did she understand it?
No.
Elfu, can you give any questions?
No, she didn't understand the topic.
Listen carefully. Can you bring Elfu here? I will very simply you can very simply understand this topic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, listen carefully. You have $100.
Mm-hmm.
There's $100 and every stock is $10.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to not lose your money.
Mm-hmm.
But if you buy every $100 to Apple and Apple's stock price goes down from $100 to $0, then they will lose all the money. Right?
Okay.
But if you buy 10 different stock from 10 different company, let's say 10 stock from Nvidia, Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Samsung, TSMC, Nokia, Google, Berkshire Hathaway, and BMW. Then even Apple's stock price becomes zero, you still have $90 of stocks in other stocks, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that is how we can reduce the risk of losing the money.
Mm. Yeah, makes sense.
No, uh, do you have any questions?
Ja se niin kuin sitä mikä. Näin. Mikä? Oh.
Can you understand?
Yeah, I did understand what you meant, but I still a little confused with the formula. Like how it works, the formula, like basically how it works.
Okay, then now I will show you the formula. Oh, I'm already showing my formula. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
This risk is, we will just say this as all the risk you can lose your money. And we will divide it by, there is risk that we can reduce it, and there is risk that we can't reduce it. We will just write it like this. And we can divide the risk, and we can use plus sign. There is this risk, and there is this risk. Understandable?
Kind of.
Okay, then
Yeah.
let's go to this. Oh, we didn't say, see why risk is defined like this. And this is the formula. Let's see how it is defined. Then it is risk of each risk of each asset, which will be Apple's each risk, how it is dangerous. We usually calculate it by, let's say today, 5 days ago, Apple's stock price was 100. And 4 days ago, it become 105. And 3 days ago, it become 110. 1 days ago, it was 115. and today it become 120. Then we can calculate return of each day. It will be 105 minus 100 over 100. So it will be 0.05 return. And this day and this day, I don't have a good finally. No. Maybe it is also we can talk about it. And this say, and hey guys, we are doing plus and minus and dividing. Understanding right
Yeah.
now? You can also calculate 110 minus 105 divided by 100. Then there will be another 0.05. If we calculate this, then we can get first days of return is 0.05, and I make it all 5, so it will be every return will be 0.05. R3 will be 0.05. R4 will be 0.05. Understandable? Then this return, we should make it bigger. Why? We want to earn a lot. We want to become huge rich, right? You have $100, you buy all the stocks in $100 and it becomes 120. If we divide it, then it just grows 5% every in between the day, so it becomes 120, and we can write it as it grows 0.05% or 0.05 every day. We just represent it as this formula, right? In this case, we should also, this is return, and we should also calculate risk. How much risk we have. Risk can define by, we should first get expected return, which is average of return. In this case, it's all 0.05, so it will be 0.05. When we calculate risk, we don't have any other measures. We will use standard deviation and variation of return, which is have you heard about standard deviation and variance, Tina?
No.
Standard deviation can be calculated by 1 over n minus 1 sigma.
Pamiętasz jakieś? Nie pamiętasz jakieś?
This is the formula of standard deviation, which means for every samples, how much is it deviate from sample? So there is a lot of men, and in your class, if you want to know how much our class boys are bigger than how much other classes boys, then how can you compare it? Maybe you can compare between the longest one in our class and the longest one in others' class, right? But maybe in your class, there is no the longest person is not that high, but most of your classmates are maybe just quite bigger. So maybe they are all 180. The biggest one is 181. Let's say class B, they have 2-meter long height, which is very tall, but except him, everybody is 170. that it is not fair if you just compare 181 is the height and 2 meter is height. Maybe you will use average, right?
Yeah.
But if you only use average, you can maybe ask like this kind of situation. Pinya, how tall are you?
178.
You are 178. So like there is river, and river's average deep is 1 meter. Then you can walk down the river even you didn't swim, right?
What?
You
I
have
didn't hear.
you have